guys.
It is.
No,
Shut your
no.
mouth.
As a
I
matter
will
of fact,
say,
so let me tell you,
staring through this all night long is time consuming.
that is. Now, Stephanie Schweitzer, I actually text her our food orders, you guys.
Oh, you do?
She has
Yeah.
somebody deliver it to us.
Yeah.
So,
Deliver it.
She's not kidding you when she says that
No.
they take care of us. They take care of us. 3 of us late models from Southern Oregon Speedway thinking about it. What is there to think about, Jason? We're talking about the great show. Who else is talking about going?
Well, they should definitely enter for their friends that say they can't afford to go.
It's a cheap way to go.
It's a definite $20. Get your friends or girlfriends or girlfriends.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd love to know who's going. I love it when our Oregon guys go down, whatever track you're from or represent. You're representing the state, and I love
Yes.
that deal down there. My back is killing me. I went a little hard on the workout today, so
Stand up.
I don't know if I can.
That's
He's
old
getting-
age.
It'll be hard.
he's getting a little
Sit
stiff.
too long, you feel like I do.
I don't like to know
I
where
can't sit
people are
long, I
weak.
get
I
rigor
like to
mortis.
poke. Yeah.
Okay, Massey Knight and myself. Hey, great cars. Eric Massey,
Right on.
Dustin Knight in the 77.
You know,
and
you
Jason
guys would
Schultz.
do great down there, too.
Absolutely, and
You
I'll
guys
tell
would
you,
do fabulous down
it's a
there.
great show. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. We've been on the air for 2.5 hours.
That's crazy.
Had so much fun tonight. I want to start wrapping things up just because it's about that time. But before we wrap it up, I want to talk about a couple of things. Gary, I know that we've talked about this earlier today when you were working on your house, actually on the phone. Today's date and what it means to this country, 9/11 and the attacks that took place, and just remembering those who lost their lives, not just in the towers, but the heroes that came to help those. Gary, you've worked in the fire department, and I know that today hits you hard personally. I mean, you've been there. You've been on the scene of some of those types. Not that type of deal, but
Not that big.
you understand it.
But yeah, tragedy.
Absolute tragedy, and I hate to see sometimes where this country is so divided left to right when you've seen a million posts on Facebook today about 9/12 and what happened the day after those attacks and how this country came together tighter than I think it ever has been. There wasn't Democrat and Republicans and black and white and nationalities. It was America. It was American people coming together as a nation, and I wish it was more like that all the time. I do want to send our condolences out to anybody who lost anybody in those attacks, whether it be somebody in a plane in the tower or some of the safety personnel coming out to help. I know some of us have known some of those people that have lost loved ones in that deal, and it's horrible. You can't replace that. Today it's been
18 years.
18 years.
That seems unreal. I was upstairs
Yeah, it's weird.
18 years ago.
And I remember it like it happened.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
I was camping.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You were camping?
I was camping, had no idea what was going on. And then I got service, and my phone had 5 million. Because my mom was in a state building that had bomb threats.
Okay.
So she was
Okay.
calling me, telling me she loved me and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck's going on?
And
Yeah.
I worked for Marion County at the time
Yeah.
as well. So I worked in a county building.
Dave, what were you doing?
Yeah, I was in California. I just woke up, and I was getting ready to leave with my truck and turned on the radio, and I just right when the first one hit, and they thought it was just a plane that was
Yep.
off course.
Yep.
And then pretty soon, what was it, half an hour or less?
18 minutes or something.
18 minutes later, another one hit. Then they changed their tone. They said, nope, this is
Gary, where were you?
terrorism.
I was in my living room getting ready for work, turned on the news like I do every morning, and I was stunned as I'm watching one tower that had been hit and smoke coming out of it, and moments later, a second plane hits the 2nd tower, and I was just crushed.
And
I
that's
will
when
tell
I
you.
knew.
Yeah, that's when we all knew
That's
that
when
this
I
was
knew.
a planned attack. I will tell you that morning, I was dead tired. I was dead tired, and I typically the first thing, Gary, I get up, I turn the news on first thing, and I said to myself, I think I'm just gonna lay around for a minute, and it's something. I just had this feeling like get up, turn the news on. It was just the weirdest feeling. Get up, turn it on now. Got up, turned it on. The first thing I see is the tower, like, you said, with the smoke coming out, and they were talking about a plane. And you could tell by the hole that it was a big plane that had hit it. And I was kind of like, wow, this is crazy. I can't, how do you hit one of those things? What happened? And then as they're talking, you see the second jet fly in and hit it. And now it's clear this is obviously an orchestrated attack on America. And I had turned on when I first saw the tower. I had called my mom, and I said, "Mom, turn on the news." She says, "What channel?" I said, "Just turn your TV on."
Yeah.
So she turns it on, and we're talking, and the second plane hit. And I will tell you guys, I'm not kidding you when I say this. When that second plane hit, both of us kind of went. You could hear, and I held that phone to my ear, and I didn't say another word for a half hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
While I listened to my mom on the phone, I could tell my mom was crying. This was unbelievable. And I will tell you, when that first tower started to crumble and went down, I almost got sick. I knew there was people in there. Mm-hmm. And knowing that this was now an attack, I seriously, I almost vomited. I just thought, how? What is going on? Who is this? And, like everybody else, there was I think we all had a sense of fear.
Well, and it was
like,
shortly
wait a
after
second.
that we found out that there were other planes
Yeah,
missing.
the Pentagon was attacked, and the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. And
I felt a little bit more comfort after they grounded all flights. That, okay, what's left in the air is what's in the air, so it's going to stop at this point, is what I was thinking. But then I started thinking about
how eerie,
international flights.
How eerie was that the airline shut down? How weird was that there was
I can remember being in Albany, Oregon, is where I was living at the time, and I can remember when Portland put jets up, and the jets flying. I'm not kidding you when I say this.
Yeah.
Directly over, flight path was directly over our house. And I'm looking up going, what the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. Why are there fighter jets flying above our house? Where's the next attack? What do they know? It was scary.
Yep.
It was scary. And then
they were
to watch.
escorting any commercial airlines,
Yep.
and they
put them on the ground.
I remember they radioed them, said, if you make any kind of move off of your flight,
yep.
you're going to be
down.
brought down.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
A horrible day in American history, and I just wish that we were back to that one nation. We stood together instead of so divided like we are right now in this country.
It shouldn't take
a
tragic event
You're right.
for everybody to come together. It really shouldn't.
And unfortunately, right now in this country, that's what it would take.
We talk about racing family a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We're an American family.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. You're in America, you're family, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
We all know each other in one way, shape, or form. Look at it. Social media, for instance. Friends of friends of friends of friends of friends. Everybody knows everybody in some way, shape, or form.
It's true.
That's crazy.
We're all friends here.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to live, be happy,
Raise
life,
our
liberty, and the
families.
pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own opinions.
Right?
That's
okay.
what makes everybody an individual.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. And
True.
on a more positive note, I'm rolling through social media today, and I found something. I thought this would be really cool to close the show with. And I thought, this is just something that I don't normally read, something that a lot of other writers will write and go, that's awesome. To the point where I want to save it and read it on the air, right? But I found this today, and I thought, going back to what you just said about, racing and family and just what racing means to us, I found something written by Jonathan Joyner. Okay, he works for a major publication. And he wrote this, and I thought, man, that's cool. That's cool. I'm going to read it right now before we close the show. He actually titled it Race Anyway. Did anybody see this?
No.
It's titled Race Anyway. And he says, the thing about racing is this. It isn't easy. It isn't for those who aren't willing to toil day after day and work night after night for no better reason than to drive fast around a racetrack on the weekends. It's tough. Race anyway. Hopefully, there will be wins, but racing is nothing more and nothing less than an unattainable dream, the chasing of which will drain every minute you have to offer and every second that you don't. And often you'll find yourself unprepared and short on time. There will be a countless number of late nights and a multitude of long days with greasy hands, skinned knuckles, and sweaty brows. You'll swear often, even if you're not a cusser. That's life. Race anyway. It's a constant burning fire that will consume every dime you have to spare and every penny you can borrow. But that won't be enough. Spend all you want. There will always be someone else with more money and better equipment. And without a doubt, some people will question your sanity. They will tell you that you're wasting your time and money. Sometimes you might even believe it yourself. You aren't. Race anyway. It's a never-ending passion that can take you to the highest of highs, then leave you feeling the lowest of lows. It can produce joy and gratification that can just as easily and quickly turn to anger and frustration. If you're lucky, or good, or both, there will be wins. But either way, there will be just as many losses. Probably more. Race anyway. You should know that this sport will demand from you just one thing. Your all. Then it will ask you to give it more. You'll give it everything you have to offer, and at times it will leave you with nothing in return but a spirit that is battered and a race car that is broken. Put them back together and race anyway. Because there will come a day when everything in this world is right and victory and the night is yours. They'll take your picture, give you a trophy, a cardboard check, and maybe even a little cash. You'll be the man, and you'll know it. At some point before the night is over, you'll wonder if it can ever get better than this, and a part of you will know that it can't. This was your moment, and try as you might, you may never experience anything quite like it again. That's okay. Race anyway. I thought, how cool is that?
I like that.
Wicked cool. That
I feel
just
like
took me
that
on an
is a
adventure.
lullaby.
Yes, it does,
Very
doesn't
cool.
it?
I
Now,
thought
good
that was
night.
about as awesome as it gets. And Roger, yes, One Nation Under God. I agree. I wanted to close the show with that. I thought, what a perfect way to close the show tonight. I want to thank everybody who joined in the discussion. Jason, Roy, Roger, the Nelsons, everybody else who listens to the show that doesn't text us or call us. You're welcome to do so. It's part of the show and having fun. We're here for the fans, and we appreciate all of you guys. I mean, not everything we do is right there in what I just read. You know, it's all of us in
I like
some
that.
way, shape, or form. You do it anyway. We're going to see you guys at the racetrack for the final race of the season at Southern Oregon Speedway. Short break, then off to the Budweiser Nationals to wrap up our year. But I will tell you, it's been one awesome ride this year. The fans, the racers, the staff, the promoter, the promoter, the owner, everybody at Southern Oregon Speedway has been terrific, and I have had a blast this year. Racing was fun again.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun again, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody. Thank you for listening to the show tonight, you guys. We do appreciate you. We're going to be right back here next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock with West Coast Wide Open. Join us. Hit us up on the chat line. We'll do it again. Have just as much fun. You guys have a good night. Have a good week. And before you go to bed tonight, take time to remember everybody that was lost in the tragic attacks 18 years ago, and kind of send those families your thoughts and prayers. We'll see you guys next Wednesday night. Thanks. Take care. Northwest Dirt News is a production of Moxie Media Promotions. You can contact us anytime at nwdirtnews@yahoo.com.